Have you ever wondered how small changes can lead to life-changing transformations? What if I told you that in just 1 week, adopting 10 simple habits completely redefined my outlook on life, my productivity, and even my happiness? Sounds impossible, right? Stick around because in this video, I'll take you on a journey through the 10 habits that revolutionized my life in just 7 days. These habits aren't magic tricks or far-fetched ideas. They're grounded in timeless wisdom, with a touch of Stoic philosophy to guide the way. Each one is practical, transformative, and something you can start today. Whether you're looking to find more clarity, boost your confidence, or simply live a life of purpose, these habits might just be the spark you've been waiting for. So, grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into these life-changing practices. By the end, you'll be inspired to take action and create your own transformation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with the habit you're most excited to try, because the best time to change your life is right now. Number 1. There is a profound power in starting the day with silence. I woke up each morning and spent the first few minutes in quiet reflection. Inspired by the Stoic maxim, silence is a lesson in itself. I found that tuning out the noise allowed me to tune into myself. I sat still, breathing deeply, and let the chatter of my mind dissipate. It wasn't about achieving perfect stillness. It was about embracing the imperfection of the moment. Each day, this silence became a sanctuary, a grounding force that set the tone for everything that followed. I realized how much of my life had been consumed by distractions, and by carving out this time, I felt more present and aware. By the 3rd day, this practice of silence began to transform my interactions. When I spoke, it felt purposeful, as though my words carried weight. I listened more deeply to others, hearing not just their words, but the emotions behind them. Conversations became richer, more meaningful, and less reactive. The habit of silence didn't just change my mornings, it reshaped my entire day. I became a witness to my own life, stepping back from the chaos and learning to respond instead of react. The days felt longer, fuller, and more deliberate. By the end of the week, this simple act of sitting in silence had become a cornerstone of my life. I understood what the Stoics meant when they said that peace comes from within. It wasn't something to chase, it was something to create. And I created it every morning by honoring the quiet and letting it ripple outward. Number 2. I began practicing gratitude with every meal. Instead of rushing through meals or mindlessly eating while scrolling through my phone, I stopped to appreciate the food in front of me. He who does not appreciate what he has will never have enough, the Stoics taught, and I took this lesson to heart. I thanked the farmers who grew the food, the workers who transported it, and the hands that prepared it. This gratitude wasn't just an intellectual exercise, it was a heartfelt acknowledgement of the web of life that sustains me. The impact was immediate. Food tasted better. Simple meals became extraordinary experiences. I began to notice textures, flavors, and aromas I had taken for granted. It wasn't just about the food, it was about the mindfulness I brought to the act of eating. Gratitude, I realized, had a way of transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, and in doing so, it transformed me. By the end of the week, this habit extended beyond meals. I found myself saying thank you more often, to strangers, to loved ones, to life itself. Gratitude became a lens through which I viewed the world, and through that lens, everything seemed brighter, more beautiful, and more connected. Number 3. I committed to journaling each evening. Inspired by the Stoic practice of self-examination, I wrote down my thoughts, actions, and emotions at the end of each day. An unexamined life is not worth living, echoed in my mind as I picked up the pen. I didn't censor myself or try to make my entries profound. I simply wrote honestly about my triumphs, my struggles, and the lessons I was learning. By midweek, the journal became a mirror, reflecting parts of myself I had long ignored. I saw patterns in my behavior, moments of strength, and areas where I fell short. But instead of judgment, I found compassion. The act of writing helped me process my emotions and make sense of the day's events. It was as though I was having a conversation with my future self, leaving behind a map of insights and reflections. This nightly ritual grounded me. It gave me a sense of closure to each day and clarity for the next. More than that, it helped me grow. With each entry, I became more aware of who I was and who I wanted to be. Number 4, I embraced the habit of doing one uncomfortable thing each day. The Stoics believed that discomfort is a teacher, and I decided to test this wisdom. On the first day, I reached out to someone I had been avoiding. On the second, I took a cold shower. By the third, I was seeking out challenges, whether it was speaking up in a meeting or trying a new skill. Discomfort, I learned, is not the enemy. It's a doorway to growth. Each time I stepped outside my comfort zone, I felt a surge of vitality. The fear that had held me back began to lose its grip, replaced by a sense of courage and resilience. These moments of discomfort didn't just make me braver, they made me more alive. By the end of the week, I looked forward to the discomfort. It became a game, a daily quest to discover what I was capable of. And in that discovery, I found a version of myself I hadn't known existed. Number 5, I started prioritizing rest, not as an afterthought, but as a deliberate act of self-care. If you are tired, rest. If you are rested, work, the Stoics advised. I gave myself permission to nap, to sleep earlier, and to take breaks during the day. Rest was no longer something I earned. It was something I deserved. The effects were immediate and profound. My energy levels stabilized, my focus sharpened, and my mood improved. I began to see rest as an investment, not a luxury. It wasn't just about physical recovery. It was about mental and emotional renewal. Rest gave me the strength to face challenges with clarity and calm. By the end of the week, I had redefined my relationship with rest. It wasn't laziness, it was wisdom. And in honoring my need for rest, I found a deeper well of energy and resilience than I thought possible. Number 6, I decided to limit my complaints. Inspired by the Stoic principle that we should focus on what we can control, I caught myself each time I began to complain. Instead of venting, I asked myself, what can I do about this? If the answer was nothing, I let it go. If there was something I could do, I took action. This shift was transformative. Complaining, I realized, was a drain on my energy and a distraction from solutions. By redirecting that energy toward problem-solving or acceptance, I felt more empowered and less burdened. The world didn't change, but my perspective did, and that made all the difference. By the end of the week, I noticed a change in how others responded to me. Conversations became more uplifting, and people seemed drawn to my newfound positivity. Limiting my complaints didn't just change my life, it began to change the lives of those around me. Number 7, I began practicing deliberate kindness. Each day, I looked for opportunities to brighten someone else's day, whether it was a compliment, a small favor, or a heartfelt thank you. Kindness is invincible, the Stoics taught, and I wanted to test that truth. The results were immediate and heartwarming. Acts of kindness created ripples, spreading positivity and connection. But the greatest impact was on me. Each act of kindness reminded me of the abundance in my own life and the joy of giving without expectation. Kindness, I realized, is a two-way gift. By the end of the week, Kindness had become second nature. It wasn't just something I did, it was something I was. And in being kind, I found a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. Number 8, I began to let go of grudges. The Stoics taught that holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal. You are the one who gets burned. I identified the people and situations I was still holding resentment toward and made a conscious decision to forgive. Not for them, but for myself. Forgiveness wasn't easy. It required confronting painful emotions and letting go of the need for justice or revenge. But each time I released a grudge, I felt lighter. The burden of resentment was replaced by a sense of freedom and peace. Forgiveness, I realized, is not a gift to others. It is a gift to yourself. By the end of the week, I felt more at peace than I had in years. Letting go of grudges didn't mean forgetting. It meant choosing not to let the past define my present. And in that choice, I found liberation. Number 9, I committed to learning something new each day. The Stoics believed that wisdom is the highest virtue, and I decided to honor that by feeding my mind daily. I read books, watched educational videos, and engaged in thoughtful conversations. Learning wasn't just about gaining knowledge, it was about expanding my perspective. Each new piece of information felt like a treasure, a building block in the architecture of my mind. Learning became a source of joy and curiosity, a reminder that there is always more to discover. The habit of learning didn't just change my week, it reignited my passion for life. By the end of the week, I felt richer in ways that money could never buy. Knowledge, I realized, is not just power, it is freedom. And in seeking it daily, I became freer. Number 10. I started ending each day with a question: what good have I done today? This simple question, inspired by the Stoics' focus on virtue, became a compass for my actions. Knowing I would ask myself this at night influenced how I lived during the day. I sought opportunities to help, to uplift, and to contribute. The question was humbling. Some days the answers came easily. Other days I realized I could have done more. But the act of asking made me more aware of my impact on the world. It reminded me that a good life is not measured by what you have, but by what you give. By the end of the week, this question had become a guiding principle. It wasn't just about doing good, it was about being good. And in striving to be good, I discovered a life of deeper meaning and joy. And there you have it, 10 habits that completely transformed my life in just 1 week. These aren't just things I tried and forgot. They've become part of how I live, and the impact has been incredible. Now the real question is, which habit are you going to start with? Change doesn't have to be overwhelming. It starts with one small, intentional step. If you're ready to take control of your life, why not try implementing one of these habits today? Pick the one that resonates most with you and commit to it for the next 7 days. Trust me, you'll be amazed at how quickly the ripple effects start to show. If this video inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who could use a little spark of motivation. And before you go, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and let me know in the comments which habit spoke to you the most. Let's build a community of transformation, one habit at a time. Your journey to a better life starts now. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is today. Let's make it happen together.